Hello and welcome to another episode of Green Means Business. Joining me today is Raj Chauhan, currently fourth year dental student and very much the future of dentistry. So Raj, welcome.
Thank you very much, George. Pleasure to be on here.
I spend a lot of time talking to people already in the profession, but you're about to enter it and crucially shape it. So super excited to get a slightly different perspective here. So to kick things off, I want to ask this. Does sustainability matter to your generation?
Definitely, I've seen a sort of, if you were to call it a rise in awareness at least. PPE, plastic single-use wipes, getting through materials like alginates when we take impressions on patients. It's a lot of waste. And I think as we mentioned previously, there is general sort of increase in awareness about these things at least. Why are we dashing plastic bibs that we're wearing and we're getting through like 10 sometimes in just one clinic session?
And how many patients are you seeing in that day though? Like you're only seeing a few, right? So when you're going into actual clinic, you're going to be seeing maybe 15, 20, depending on the type of practice, right? So
absolutely.
You and your peers, I guess, that you're already noticing the level of waste, and you're only seeing 2 patients maybe a day.
Well, this year it was 2. Next year it will bump up to 4. But again, it's not a lot, is it? And we're using a lot of PPE. And again, some of it is challenging because we're still students, we're still learning. So we tend to not do everything absolutely correct first time around. So naturally, we tend to use more materials. We get through a lot of things.
What's been the thing that I guess made you notice about sustainability or drove you to care so much about it?
I'd be very, very grateful and fortunate to be able to go to Bristol Dental School. I mean, as of just April gone, it was ranked the top dental school globally for their recognition for sustainability. So, I mean, they must be doing something right.
Wow.
And if I were to reflect on why might that be the case, almost every slide at the end of our lecture will be on sustainability. There will be a re-emphasis about it. There will be something like the importance of sustainability in dentistry, the use of materials and how to be careful with what we're using, especially in our clinical lab sessions. Because obviously, if you're not particular, you can get through a ton of materials. So I think, yeah, as I said, I've been very grateful to go to Bristol where there is a keen sort of interest in sustainability with my tutors who are very much on top of it as well. Even in our morning briefs before we start seeing patients, there's now more recently a message being put forward to say, right guys, also make sure that we need to be more sustainable as well. And very recent, actually, before we close for the end of this academic year, they enforced another sort of protocol where we're recycling the packaging material after it's come out of sterilization. So again, that's really good. And I'm not sure other universities are particularly doing that.
This podcast is sponsored by Hyg. Hyg is helping dental practices make sustainability part of everyday care with greener, smarter solutions designed to reduce waste, lower carbon, and save money. Discover more at hyg.co.uk.
Do you think then that practices with sustainability values will influence the type of practice that you want to work for?
If you were to say to me, right, you've got 2 practices, both of which provide me with a supportive team and the ability to provide great quality patient care, but one's much more sustainable than the other, well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory which one you choose, right? And it's almost this sort of utilitarian point of view where it's like, where can I do the greatest good for the most people? And in this case, the planet as well, right? So I think it's a very easy decision in that respect. And I'd obviously choose the practice that's more sustainable.
I'm with a lot of this Green Means Business podcast, we talk about kind of different pillars. So how investing in sustainability can increase profitability and also attract and retain great talent as well. So I see that as you and your peers being the future generation of dentistry will shape the future of dentistry as well. Practices, their role is to create a company that can attract the best talent. So in many ways, like, not that I want sustainability to just be an HR tick box, but I still think it's the marketing of sustainability has been wrong. You
For
must
sure.
be planet over profit to implement sustainability. Do you think on some level that applies the same with patients?
From my experience, at least, I think patients are also slowly wanting to become more sustainable and want a practice that facilitates that. I've shadowed a few dentists at very good practices, and they've had very sustainable practices. So in that respect, there hasn't been too much scrutiny or anything like that. But from my perspective, even at one encounter with a patient that I had, for example, it wasn't anything major, but even they were pointing out, right, God, you've gone through a lot of material, haven't you? On clinic when we were taking impressions. So it's something as simple as that. Patients do notice the amount of waste that we produce, right? If I've got 5 alginate impressions sitting out that I've not used because obviously they weren't very good because I'm a student, I was learning, etc., the patients still notice, right? And they do pick up on these things. And especially a patient who's more enthusiastic and wants to support the sustainability sort of movement, if you were to call it, they are looking out for these things. And I think they are looking for practices that facilitate that as well.
How is dentistry, in your opinion, becoming more sustainable?
For sure. I think that's a great question. I've been grateful to have shadowed a few dentists at some beautiful practices, and I'm fortunate for that. And I've really got a first-hand insight into how some of the best dentists are staying on top of it with being up to date with how dentistry is moving forward. And I think this does tie in with sustainability, and that's why I'm mentioning this. But things like intraoral scanners are changing the game. The rise in digital dentistry is absolutely changing the game. And this goes hand in hand with sustainability because we're no longer using alginate impressions. We're saving on material costs. We're saving on the material itself, trays, the shipping, and the carbon footprint associated with that. And we're also very much heading in towards and we already are in the preventive, minimally invasive era. And again, I was very fortunate not too long ago to have attended an evening course on Curodont repair, which is probably the latest minimally invasive biotechnology out there, where if a patient's got initial caries, instead of drilling, and again linking to sustainability, utilizing materials, time, energy, cost, all of those things, we can now just apply this formulation where we're stopping and arresting the caries. And now the patient isn't having to have that treatment that they would have done. And again, we're saving a lot of time, cost, material, energy, all of those things. So we're very much moving in that direction. We're also moving away from milling in terms of indirect restorations. And now we're also doing 3D printing. And that's, again, chair side in one appointment, saving on energy when we're transporting to the lab, all of those things. And we're saving on a lot of material. I think it goes down to 5% waste when we do 3D printing as compared to milling as we have done in the past. And I think it's up to us as everyone in the dental industry to kind of take that on board, because it's not only helping patients, but it's also helping us. And I mean, as this whole podcast is about, it ends up being that you're being more profitable as well as a byproduct of doing great quality dentistry and also saving the planet. I mean, they both go hand in hand.
So there's no question that your generation will help shape the dentistry of tomorrow.
Yeah.
So let's say it's 2050.
Sure.
What do you think will be some of the biggest changes or challenges?
I mean, in terms of the changes, it's in the direction that we're already currently in. And I think that's just going to propagate and further increase. I think, as we previously mentioned, it's up to my generation to have the sort of ideals and values to be able to negotiate this whole process, right? And on the other hand, if someone like me or my peers didn't give, quite frankly, a crap about sustainability, then we could probably move in the opposite direction. So yeah, I think some of the changes and challenges, they're very much intertwined, and it's going to be tricky, but also I think very manageable if we go at it with the right approach.
So Raj, thank you so much. I think we'll leave it there. I think that was super interesting. So thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. Appreciate it.
It's been great fun, George. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.